Hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. My name is Randy Rosenblum alongside Eric Sotheimer of the Los Angeles Times. Today we're at Garfield High School in East Los Angeles. The football coaches meeting starts off a new season of programming for us, Eric. By the way, how was your summer?
I had a great summer. Got a nice vacation. You were in China. I went to Thailand and Vietnam. How come we didn't run into each other?
No, but I was taking a look at the Great Wall of China and the Terracotta Warriors.
And the Disney, Shanghai Disney.
Shanghai Disney was phenomenal.
All right, let's talk about football because this is one of the favorite times of the year.
I got right here in my hand Eric's top 10. Do you remember who you put down
for the
there?
city section.
For the city section,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. We'll discuss.
Number one.
I know number one is.
The Narbonne Gauchos. They won a state championship last year, beating Clayton Valley in the finals. They were 14-2. They have 15 starters back, and Manuel Douglas wins city titles every year.
Yeah, people think that Narbonne does graduated most everybody. That's not true at all. And even though they have a new quarterback in Jalen Chapman, replacing the city player of the year, Roman Ale. Chapman is a terrific player, and he's going to be an all-city quarterback all summer long. He's been learning the offense, and he played a little bit last year, so I think it's going to be very easy to transition. Also, they have Denmark back, a running back who's going to be a powerful running back. But most importantly, their defense is outstanding. They have the best group of linebackers around in Raymond Scott and Darian Butler. Both are only 16 years old, and they're juniors. Douglas just has a talent there that people cannot match right now.
You talk about their linebackers. How about their defensive front led by Anthony Pandy, who was all-city last year, and Dominic Peterson? Their front four is great, too.
Yeah, terrific front four. Their secondary is mostly new, but a lot of the players played a lot. I think this is a matter, again, of staying healthy and dealing with their tough non-league schedule. They're going to open up with Gardena Serra. They play Long Beach Poly, and those are good tests.
And those are the two teams that knocked them off last year. All right, number two in Eric's poll are the Hawks of Hawkins, who were 8-1-1 last year, coached by Milvon James.
Well, this is a team that's loaded with talent, but we also have to see how many people are eligible. They have some transfers. They've had some issues with transfers in the past. They couldn't play in the playoffs last season because they were ineligible. They're on probation. But if everybody gets declared eligible, I mean, this is a team that's loaded. Their receivers are tremendous with Hall and their other top running back, our top receiver, Lewis. So we'll see where it goes.
I like Johnson, too. He's a terrific player. That's Greg Johnson, listed as strictly an athlete. Number three, Crenshaw Cougars. Robert Garrett's been there over 30 years. He's won 4 city titles, and he has a very talented quarterback returning.
Dayon Henley is back for his senior year. He's been the starter since he was a 10th grader. So everything's going to build around him. I look for him to have a great senior season.
Well, the Cougars got to the finals last year and ran into Narbonne and lost. Dorsey Dons is number 4 on Eric's list. Dons were 7-6 last year. They do have a terrific defensive end returning in Greg Jordan.
Well, they have a lot of good 10th graders. They had a really good Frost South team. Charles Mincy takes over as coach. His son is one of the top running backs. I'm taking a little bit of a chance on Dorsey, but I think they have a lot of speed, and if they can get the line play, which is always the question mark, that would help them a lot.
Mincy, a 10-year NFL guy, so he'll get Dorsey going, I'm sure. Number 5, you have San Pedro. Corey Miller taking over for Coach Walsh after 25 years. And this is a football team that's got some talent, but some question marks as well.
Well, I think not much is going to change because Coach Walsh is still coaching. He's going to be an assistant coach, just as a change in leadership. But I think they have a tremendous lineman in Nick Ford, and they have some other good players, but don't underestimate San Pedro.
Yeah, Nick Ford will play both offensive and defensive line. He's a big kid, about 6'7", and he weighs about 270 pounds. Kai Kaneshiro there is an outstanding running back. All right, number 6, the team that's housed right here, the Garfield Bulldogs, and Adam Polanco and their outstanding quarterback.
Yeah, Polanco has a lot of experience, and this team was very young last year. Now, I'm a little concerned about the non-league schedule. They could be 0-5. They're playing such tough teams, but that's the typical Garfield way of preparing for the city section.
Number 7, LA High School. Eric Scott every year does a great job. They were the runner-up in the Division II last year, stunned by Fairfax in the championship, and won D3 the year before. They keep getting stronger at LA High.
Yeah, last year we had them ranked in the top 25, and then at the end of the year they kind of screwed up a little bit. They tied Hawkins and the stunning loss to Fairfax, but Martin Andrus is back. They're probably the top defensive lineman in the city section. As a matter of fact, they're very strong on the offensive and defensive line, and that's unusual in the Coliseum League, and I think that could help them propel them back to being very effective.
You have number 8 winning the West Valley League, the El Camino Real Conquistadors. Not Birmingham, not Taft, but ECR.
Well, the West Valley League has gone through a series of coaching changes virtually everywhere, and El Camino Real has its coach back. It has the most returning players back. Liddell Atkins is one of the top running backs, plus they have a quarterback back, and so they have to give them an advantage.
Yeah, Wes Crockett is that quarterback. Number 9, Palisades, Tim Hyde's Dolphins, you have at number 9.
Yeah, they were very impressive this summer. I think they have a lot of some talent there. They're in the Western League. They'll have to compete with Venice and Hamilton, but I think they have a chance.
And number 10, the Banning Pilots, another team out of the Marine League. John Aponte's got another terrific squad.
Yeah, this team could go all the way up to in the top 5. They have 14 starters back. They have a great running back coming back. They have a non-league schedule that I think they're going to be able to win most of their games. So look for Banning to rise up this year.
Yeah, great running back is Joe Villarreal. He is terrific. So is Sultan Moala, who's also in the backfield and is a very good linebacker as well. We'll step out and have a lot more. Meet some of the coaches from the coaches' meetings here at Garfield High School right after this on SoCal Prep Report.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
The Banning Pilots are very strong in the Marine League. They have 14 starters back from a 7-4 team. Their head coach is John Aponte, and he did a great job a year ago. John, I know you're excited about the 2016 team.
I'm very excited. We have a lot of leadership coming back, a lot of kids that have good varsity experience in some really tough games. We were lucky enough to play some league games against really tough opponents very well and win a couple of those games. We have a really great schedule coming up this season with a lot of great opportunity, and the kids are up for the challenge.
Your backfield is very experienced. Miles Porter at quarterback, Villarreal, and Moala in the backfield. That is a dynamic backfield.
We're lucky enough the past few years to have had some really great offensive linemen. Once again, we have some offensive linemen that are going to be up to the task of doing a great job this year. And this backfield, they're dynamic. That's a great way to put it. Villarreal, every time he touches the ball, good things are going to happen. And Sultan Moala, every time he touches that football, it's possible he could go into the end zone. So, I'm really excited about it. Porter, playing quarterback for his second year in the system. You're going to see a lot more maturity and better decision making, and that's probably going to result in some better quality drives and more points on the board.
The search is on for who will be the second place team to Narbonne. Narbonne is in your league. Obviously, it's a big challenge, but you always look forward to that game.
We do look forward to that game. I mean, it's not that often that everybody gets the chance to play state champions, and we're going to look at that game like everybody else. We want to go in there. We want to win the game. The kids, they're going to do a great job of preparation mentally and physically, and we look forward to that challenge. As far as second place goes, I think it's up for grabs. Carson, Pedro, they're fantastic, but so are we. And I think the conversation of the big 3 is turning into the conversation of the big 4 now.
Right. Well, that's a credit to you because Banning used to be this dominant program, went down, and now this is your 4th year. You must be excited to finally to let people see what it takes. It takes a little bit of time to rebuild.
If you do things the right way, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes everybody being on the same page. Everybody has the same goal at the beginning of the season. You want to win a championship, but it's about having the same vision. How do you get there? And these kids have done a great job of buying into the vision that we have here at Banning, and now we're seeing it on the football field.
That's good.
Not a lot of teams get to play in the Coliseum. In the old days, the championship games used to be played there in the city section. Not going to be in the Coliseum this year, but your team has an opportunity to play at that facility on October 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's a doubleheader. Crenshaw and Dorsey, great rivalry game. And Banning against San Pedro, a team you beat 10-9 last year.
What an amazing opportunity put together by LA City and all the people at the Coliseum. It's just an amazing opportunity for the children, for both programs. It's a rivalry game. It's a tough physical game to go ahead and play, but this is going to take it up to another level, and I know that's what LA City wanted to do by having it at this venue. The community's completely excited. I expect everybody to come out there and support Banning football when we go to the Coliseum.
And of course, in the Marine League, we mentioned Narbonne, but where do you feel you fit overall? I have a sense that you're a top 5 city team, but this side of Narbonne, do you think you're as good as anyone in the city section?
I think we can play with anybody. I don't know what the final scores of these games are going to be. If I knew, I'd go out and buy a lotto ticket today, right? But I know this: when we're done playing a football game for 48 minutes, you're going to know that you played Banning. And so I think we can play with anybody. And as long as we can do the right things in a 48-minute game, we can beat anybody too.
And we've talked about your offense, but your defense is experienced as well.
They're very experienced. They did a great job last year. Creating havoc on other people's offenses. I mean, we're very aggressive, and a lot of these guys are coming back. So maturity and leadership and understanding what other offenses are trying to do, they're going to be a little bit more advanced than they were last year.
Best of luck in 2016.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Banning Pilots, they should be very solid again in the Marine League.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse, or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best-kept secrets and happy trails to you.
One of our good friends is Lorenzo Hernandez in his 14th year right here at Garfield High School in East LA. Lorenzo, Eric's got you number 6 in his personal city poll. Do you like that ranking?
You know what? I have to agree with him. He's done a good job so far.
Okay, well, it's very early to say the least since you haven't played a game. I guess it starts with Adam Polanco, your now veteran quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam was outstanding last year, and I think he's just getting better this year. A lot stronger, a lot faster, and comes from a breed of great Polanco family.
Every year you play a very good non-league schedule, trying to get ready for the playoffs, even though it doesn't help your record. Fans don't like losing, but you've made it a determination. It's very important, and you're going to do that again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We like playing top-notch programs because we get exposed, as a program ourselves against such high-level coaching, and our kids are put right into the fire where it's either sink or swim. So I think so far it's worked for us, and hopefully we can continue that.
So who are you playing non-league?
We'll play Alamany, we'll play LA Banning, we'll play Crenshaw, we'll play Harvard Westlake, and we'll finish with Servite.
Wow, those are tough opponents there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we just want to make sure that our kids are ready and our program continues that stability.
I like to talk about offense. We mentioned Polanco, your quarterback. Adrian Espinoza was an outstanding running back for you last year, but you got another young guy, Jordan, who you're very high on.
Yeah, Brandon Jordan's just an outstanding athlete. He's an all-around athlete, hard-working kid, great attitude. So we're expecting great things from him and a ton of other freshmen that we have as well that are going to contribute. People ask me what our team is like this year, and I say we're very young, but we're an experienced young team. So we're not going to use that as an excuse. We're just going to get better, and hopefully they become veterans by the time we hit league play.
I have to ask you, and I've asked some of these other coaches, the LA Unified is supplying new uniforms for everybody. The Arleta coach, Bill Cohn, said it cost the varsity and JVs $50,000. I hope you got that much money for your uniform.
Actually, we did better. We did about 60-something thousand. So we're really excited and we're blessed. And thank you to our section and definitely to LA Unified for providing that for our kids because it was long overdue.
So you guys will look good. You may not play well, but you'll look good.
Absolutely. We're going to look good. We'll look like superstars out there. Hopefully next year we can get some coaching gear to come with it.
Well, you've played like superstars and dominated the Eastern League. You were undefeated in the Eastern League last year. Does that surprise you that you've been able to beat up on your own league?
Yes and no. I think the hard work that's put in by the coaches as well as the kids here at Garfield, it kind of speaks for itself in the records. But at the end of the day, we understand that we got a huge target on our back every year. So we just got to make sure that we meet the expectations. So while others are sitting home asleep, we're working, we're breaking things down. So, it's just something, how bad do you really want it? We treat it like a bank investment. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out.
A terrific coach and a wonderful host. You like hosting this affair, don't you?
It's absolutely a lot closer here than driving to the valley, so we're beautiful. We're good.
All right, that's Lorenzo Hernandez, the very successful head coach at Garfield High School.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
The guy's coached for 14 years and has won 6 city titles. Last year, he led Narbonne to the state title. He's the odds-on favorite again. Manuel Douglas, pressure doesn't appear to bother you or your squad.
You know what? I'm pressure's a part of it. To be honest, I think the expectation in our program is that every year these kids expect to compete and hopefully win a city championship, and that's where we're at. That's a culture that we have here at Narbonne. But me personally, I'm motivated by fear of failure. I absolutely want to continue what we've done, but nothing lasts forever, and we've been very fortunate. We have a lot of good players and had a lot of success, but it kind of breeds itself right now.
And there's no guarantees that you're going to go beat everybody, because one crucial ingredient is attitude. And I saw during the summer, this team still had not reached the attitude of some of your other championship teams. You were working at it, and explain that attitude, because I saw people that were doing things they shouldn't be doing, but that's what summer's about.
No, the mindset has to for this group. It's a very talented group. It could be better than the last year's group, to be honest. But the mindset's not quite there, and that's partially, we played a 16-game season last year, and we were exhausted as a coaching staff. The kids were. We actually didn't really start any football-related activities. We had an off-season football class, but we didn't do anything but play basketball or flag football, or maybe we didn't even lift weights really until April. So usually we're a little bit behind schedule, but we're progressing nicely. In the summer, it's worked well for us. But that's something that is important. You have to be, I always say you got to be lucky, you got to be injury-free, and you have to have the right mindset. And we've had that multiple times. Fortunately, that's not strange to us as a coaching staff, and the returners understand what I'm talking about when we discuss it, so we can get to that point.
Last year your team was offensively gifted. They're still very good. But this year's defense has so many guys returning who had over 100 tackles last year. You got to feel so confident with your defensive squad, the guys that are back.
Yeah, that's the misnomer about us. Everyone keeps talking about how many guys we lost and how we're not going to be very competitive, and I kind of look at that sideways and laugh to myself, because apparently they don't know who we are. We have 9 returning starters on defense. I've been able to move a couple guys. We have the defensive lineman of the year in our section last year was, I think he had 14 sacks. We moved him to outside linebacker.
That's Anthony Pandy.
Anthony Pandy. And now he's being heavily recruited by Washington State and USC and a couple Pac-12 schools because he looks phenomenal. And I am able to do that because I had another kid who rotated in a lot, and now I moved him to defensive end, and we haven't missed a beat. We're very good in that, what we do with our 3 levels of play. We play a lot of kids and a lot of games, and so when kids rotate in, it's not like they're foreign to playing in big games.
My goodness, you have Pandy, Butler, and Scott as your linebackers. There's nobody even close to that.
Yeah, they look very imposing for sure. They're a great-looking group of kids, and they're outstanding players and very coachable.
Your buddy Ryan.
I wouldn't say that, but we do have those types of players, and we're blessed.
Peterson's pretty good too.
Yeah, Dominic Peterson returning as well. He was the other starting defensive end, and we're playing a little bit more inside as a 3-tech, and that he's being heavily recruited there, and he's very active. So our front 7 is dominant. I mean, I don't see there's another front 7 in the city section. I would say our front 7 is probably as good as anybody in southern section. So, and we play those teams, so the time will tell.
I was going there. I mean, if there's one thing that you didn't get accomplished last year, you let wins against Sarah and Long Beach Poly get away late. You open the season against those 2 schools. I would imagine that's a great motivator for you and your team.
I mean, you're 4 points away from being 16-0. We lose to Sarah in overtime by 1. I went for 2 to win, and we fumbled the snap, and we lose that game 41-40. And then we lose to Long Beach Poly in the last 30 seconds. So, I mean, that hasn't been our driving motivation factor. We don't talk about that every day, but we do talk about why we lost those games. And it's the little things. It's attention to detail. And so that's something, we're never going to back it down from playing anyone. We never have. We've lost to very good teams, and we've beaten some very good teams. So certainly, that challenge is what we're all about.
And I saw you all summer working with your new quarterback, Jalen Chapman. You two have an interesting relationship. You're not afraid to tell him what's on your mind.
Well, fortunately, I know his dad real well, and his dad's like, make sure you let him know. Don't go soft on him. But Jalen's a very coachable young man, has a tremendous talent. I think he's more prepared to play as a junior than any junior quarterback, including Troy Williams when he was a junior. This kid is ready to go. He played in every single game last year. He was all-league second team. He's dynamic talent. I think he's just going to keep the tradition for us because we've been very fortunate the last 5 guys Division I scholarships. So at quarterback position, that's rough, but he's going to continue the tradition. I'm happy to have him.
Congratulations on another city title. We'll congratulate you ahead of time. This will be 3 in a row. Manuel Douglas, they're going to win the city Division I championship. The only question is how will they do in the state? There's some of the teams they'll have to beat in the state. I won't jinx it.
They're going to throw dartboards.
No. We're going to throw this to a Southern Section report with our buddy, Rich Estrella.
Thanks, Randy. And hi, everybody, and welcome to the SoCal Prep Report. And this is the Southern Section edition. That's right, the SoCal Prep Report will be covering Southern Section athletics. And right now, it's the fall. It's the best time of year, some might say, because it's football season. And everybody has high hopes right now. And especially, Coach, your team is one of those teams. We're talking about Anthony White from Buena Park High School, who's joining us tonight here on the SoCal Prep Report. Anthony, thank you for joining us, man. I know you're busy right now.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Coach White, you have an interesting story. You were the Heisman High School winner back in what, 94, 95?
98.
98
I'm not that old.
Oh, wow, excuse me, trying to add some time to you. But 1998, you were the high school Heisman winner. Tell us about winning that award. That's the best high school football player in the country.
You know, the Wendy's High School Heisman Award is sponsored by Wendy's, really encapsulates the best high school student in America, meaning academics, athletics, and community service. It was a great honor. We go to New York every single year. I've been going back to New York for 18 years.
Fun
to
times,
give the
man.
for the high school award and the college award, and it was incredible.
Now you get to pal around in New York at the athletic club with all the former Heisman Trophy guys.
Yeah, even the college ones as well, and even the high school ones. Actually, today, one of the previous winners that was a female winner for one of the years, she competed in the rowing today in the Olympics.
Oh, that's
so
great.
My football team was able to wake up early this morning and watch her.
Man. So tell us a little bit about your experience over there when you get to go back to Manhattan. They fly you out there, they put you up, first class, everything's great, huh?
Yeah, same hotel. You know, you could be in an elevator with, some of the great players of football, and it's just one of the greatest, weekends, and I just get to relive it every year.
Now you got to play for Urban Meyer when he was at Utah.
Yes,
tell us
sir.
about that experience, because you were one of the first freshmen at Utah to start and play every year.
Yes, sir.
All the way through.
4-year letterman at Utah was a great experience, and when Coach Meyer came in, we were upset when our coach got fired, Ron McBride, but who would have thought that a gentleman would walk in and a man would walk in and change what he did, and by Urban Meyer, and just the level of accountability that he put on us, it really changed all of our lives.
Did you know he was going to be who he is? Because Urban Meyer's pretty special.
He's special. I think one of the first impressions, he was having a team meeting, and somebody's cell phone went off in a meeting, and he pointed at him. He said, "God help you if that ever happened again." And I think from that point right there, we all knew that he meant business. And none of us wanted to waste our college careers. So by him coming in and changing and doing what he did within the 2 years at Utah, it was special.
Have you ever had to use that line on your players about the cell phone? Every day. Yeah, you got that big box.
Exactly.
You're putting him in there. Let's talk about the Coyotes at Buena Park, man. When you got there, that program was so bad. I expected you to take it for a year and just run, but you've stuck there. You've got the Coyotes on the cusp of a CIF championship now. What's going on over there?
One of the special things about Buena Park for me personally is that I'm a resident of Buena Park. I take pride in my community, in my city. I've always wanted to be, kind of a community leader, and I feel there's no better way to influence your community by, being the head football coach of your hometown. Mm-hmm. And it's special. You go to the grocery store, you go to the stores, but it's really just changing the dynamics of the student athletes, how they are as people rather than just players. So I think myself, my coaching staff, our administration, our teachers really focus on the people and really get the best players out of it.
My son played in that league, in the Freeway League for a while, and it was interesting because it seemed like Buena Park had the least amount of athletes of any schools. In football, basketball, they might have 8 guys going out for basketball for the varsity team. Mm-hmm. So you've been able to change it around, because I've been by your campus, and it's a party out there during practice.
Yeah, we have, a DJ. We actually hired some referees in the past, and looking forward to doing that this year. It's really about preparing our student athletes to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. I think winning the games takes care of itself, but a couple years, 4 years, nobody remembers your team record. Everyone remembers who got a scholarship, how many lives you changed, and that's really what I focus on personally as a head coach.
Well, thank God you've buried all those memories of those 0-15 teams that didn't win a game for 5 years.
Yeah.
The culture's really changed over there. And one thing I noticed about your program is you guys get people into college,
Yep.
unheralded at Buena Park High.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this year, I mean, if you added up all the offers within our seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, we have over 150 college scholarship offers. And
Every year you got guys, big schools too. I mean, some of the
Yeah.
people, the who's who of NCAA football come to your campus every year.
Exactly. And, you know, we have 2 receivers right now committed to Cal Berkeley. Excited about that. Just meeting and talking to coaches, I know what they expect because I played at that level and really the highest level of college football for maybe one of the best coaches of all time. And I know what they expect. I know what they want. And we're going to make sure that when they leave Buena Park High School, they're going to have a great product and a great student athlete a part of the program.
Well, you're definitely in a division that breeds competition because the CIF champion seems to come out of your division or league every other year.
Tell me about
CIF
it.
champion in football. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
hard to win that title, but you guys are so close now, and I'm sure you're going to get over the hump soon.
Yes,
right?
sir. Thank you. You know, we've been in the semis 2 years in a row. You know, we were 11-2, and then we were 10-3 last year. So it's time to take the final step.
You're nobody's homecoming game this year?
Nobody's homecoming. We haven't been anybody's homecoming game in a while.
Yeah, well,
Thank
before
goodness.
you got there, you were everybody's homecoming game.
We were the homecoming killers.
Played 10
That's
games.
what they called us.
You had 10 games a year, but you had 12 homecoming games a year. That's
Exactly. My second year, I was surprised that halftime was actually only 15 minutes instead of 20.
Exactly, real good. All right, Coach, listen, continued success. We're going to follow you guys' progress this year. Maybe we'll check in again with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
That's Anthony White of Buena Park High School. Now, let's take a look at the preseason top 10.
Taking a look at the Southern California top 10, Corona Centennial we have at the top spot. They are strong as always. Matt Logan has a great program over there, and they are the defending CIF Southern Section champions in the big division. They're followed by number 2 Mater Dei. A lot of people think Mater Dei will win the national championship this year. We'll have to wait and see. They are followed by Trinity League stablemate St. John Bosco. They are followed by Calabasas, Mission Viejo, Loyola cracking the top 10 at number 6, followed by Servite, Vista Murrieta, Oaks Christian, and cracking the top 10 city section, Hawkins High of Los Angeles. They got a great story. We're going to be following their progress throughout the year. Here's a look at our inaugural No Love Club Top 10, and the top spot is Norco. Norco is always on the cusp of greatness. The problem is they're up there with Corona Centennial. That is the team in the 909, and everybody has 1028 circled on their calendars. That's when Norco and Corona Centennial will play. Camarillo, number 2, they're moving up to the Marmani League, and they're going to be playing with the big boys now. We'll have to see what happens with them. San Juan Hills, number 3, they are coached by Aaron Flowers, a former stand-up, one of the most prolific passers in the country, definitely in CIF Southern Section during his tenure at Artesia High. I gotta imagine his San Juan Hills team is a lot of fun to watch. They're followed by number 4, Buena Park. If Buena Park can just get past La Habra this year, they will win a CIF championship. Number 5 is Valencia. Number 6, Dorsey from the city section. Dorsey was a little disappointing last year, but I have a feeling they're going to be back and ready to go this year. Number 7 is Summit, followed by number 8, Moore Park. Garfield High School from the city section. You know, they got Almany, Harvard Westlake, and Servite, and that's their non-league schedule. So they're going to get tested early. It'll only make them better. Number 10 in the No Love Club is Chatsworth. So we'll see how the Chancellors do.
That's it for the Southern Section edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Hey, don't forget to join me weeknights at 10 o'clock on AM 830 or immediately following Angels baseball. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Back to you, Randy.
I'm excited because this year we'll be able to read Narbonne's uniforms. Last year was difficult to read the numbers.
Yes, everybody in LA Unified in the city section has new uniforms because LA Unified paid for it. Now, some of the charter schools may not have uniforms, but we're talking about $50,000 and $60,000. So whether they win or lose, at least they're going to look good doing it.
I thought, Eric, you would probably fund all of the schools with your budget.
Oh, my budget?
You're a rich guy.
I'm just happy that we're going to be able to see some numbers. I hope, right?
I'm sure we will. I'm happy we're back for a 6th year. For Eric Sondheimer,
I have to be with you for a 6th year?
All season long. Thank you to everyone here at Garfield High School, their fine coach, Lorenzo Hernandez, a very good host.
When's your next vacation?
I don't know, soon. I'm not going back to China fast. For Eric, I'm Randy. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report.